I'm dead. Give me a second, guys. I have to open up my chat. Hello, hello, butterfly. Hello, Vix. Guys, I got like no sleep. I got like no fucking sleep. So I'm sorry if I sound a bit you know, mellow. What's up, Gabby? What's up, MK? I finally leveled up my remembrance a little more. So remembrance Trailblazer is at 210 crit damage. I know this is ass, but whatever. 166 speed, and I got these traces maxed, which isn't bad. Earlier, I was doing some sustainless runs in Pure Fiction. I almost got a 0 cycle in Pure Fiction, and I was killing the TVs too fast in APOC, so I never got to use an enhanced skill on the TVs when they were broken. I also did a few more pulls on this banner, so I think I'm at like 25 pity. Let's see. 27 pity. Nice, Butterfly. Thank you, Butterfly. I got really lucky on that E1S1. Hopefully I can get the E2 before the banner goes. Going to become a certified Hera main? You or me? I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna be my first time playing her without Robin. I want to see if Remembrance Trailblazer instead of Robin helps out with the SP issues. You? Yeah, basically. I mean, the thing is, I probably won't pull for Triby or Anoxa, so I won't even have her best in slot team for like quite a while. That's the only thing that sucks. Is Fu Xuan fine with the Herda? It's like the worst option possible, I think. I think Gallagher might be better than Fu Xuan, I'm not sure. Because there's a lot of fire weak enemies currently, and Gallagher with Quid Pro Quo can help get more energy for your Herda. So I think a Gallagher might actually be better than Fu Xuan, I'm not gonna lie. Don't quote me on that though. Say on God? I mean, like, I'm just gonna be completely honest. Is like, you know what I'm saying? It's it's not exactly the most optimal to use Fu Xuan, because Gallagher can hit more often than Fu Xuan can, and with his ult and the action advance and like all that stuff, I'm pretty sure he's just overall better, especially because of his skill point positivity or skill point neutrality, depending how much you get hit. Let me put Aventurine in here. Let me try this team out. Thoughts on the new update? Eh. I mostly skipped the main story, but it is pretty interesting. Oh wait, I'm supposed to die. Someone kill my Acheron, please. There we go. Alright, let's see how this team does. You're so sleepy. Bruh, I got no sleep. So, my grandma, she doesn't know how to order food. So she called me while I was in the middle of sleeping to like order food for her. And it was bad. It was really, I slept so late yesterday. Guess what? I went to pity and I won another 50-50 on the Herda. But now I feel like I need her light cone because I've run out of skill points. Yeah, I think the only way you can kind of fix it without the light cone is with a skill point positive sustain and a skill point neutral / positive support. Because the Robin, like the main problem for me, the reason why even having the light cone isn't enough is because I'm running Lingsha and Robin. And both of them just want to spam their fucking skills. So I have an entire team, like all 4 want to use skill. Let me get up. I was laying on my bed. Alright, let's see how this team does. I did a sustainless run earlier and almost 0 cycled. Almost though. Which means I suck shit at this game. Not really Lar. Like the only reason I'd even semi-recommend Triby is the fact that she's skill point positive. And if in the future, like Anoxa is actually like a good damage dealer on Herda's team, because she's a team buffer, that would also be pretty good. But like right now, I'm pretty sure Sunday and Remembrance MC are like low-key better than Triby and Robin. Especially because of the 20% crit rate passive on Sunday, you can then just use a crit damage body on the Herda. I thought that would be enough for the energy. Wow. Are we playing on E2 Herda this patch? If I can. I don't even know if I'll be able to. That's the thing though. No, Mem went forward. Fuck. I didn't want Mem to go forward. Oh my god. That's my own fault. What a fucking misplay. I just wasted that fucking ult. But yeah, see, like, I'm not running into skill point issues here. Now that I'm using fucking Remembrance MC instead of Robin, like, I'm not running into skill point issues anymore. Casteris' best team will probably be Sunday Remembrance MC. That's why, like, Triby might have some value. Like, it'll literally just be a fugue situation all over again. Where people pulled, like, some people pulled for fugue so that they could afford to use Remembrance Trailblazer on, like, the new summon teams. Like, even though Remembrance Trailblazer and Sunday are currently better than Triby, It might be a situation where you'd rather have them in other teams over the like that's not a Herda one. So it kind of like fucks you over in the end. Which pure fiction buff are you using? I don't even remember, bro. I kind of blanked out. There we go, and we got the tide instantly. There we go. Oh shit, I don't have skill points for small Herda. Well, that was a mistake, but I don't think I was gonna get enough energy otherwise. 3.5 million, not bad. Good night, Gabby. Good night, Andrina. I'm so glad they fixed Aventurine's bug. Like, yeah, I am so fucking glad. You guys have no clue. Alright, this should be enough. Who's best in slot for the Herda? Is it Jade for an Air Edition? Yeah.
Or maybe I'll take it all.
And SGG. Nice. So yeah, without Robin, you just have way more skill points if you use Remembrance MC. But I think the issue that's going to come up with the Herda is, once again, you want to put Sunday and Remembrance MC on other teams aside from the Herda. So that's like, at least currently, that's like kind of the only value an E0S0 Triby has. Like, too many people watch these E0 S1 Triby showcases. Like, that S1 makes a huge fucking difference for Triby. At E0 S0 specifically, she just isn't, like, it's so interchangeable between the other three supports. Was it that bad? What, Aventurine's bug? Yeah. Aventurine's bug didn't give the person with the lowest amount of shield double shield. So, like, it would be very easy for your shit to be broken over and over again. I don't know many. Probably, but I don't know. We don't know anything about Anoxa right now. I know she's on a V1. That's why I'm saying currently. For MOC and other modes, is better Serval than Mini Herda. I'm pretty sure MOC is Serval. Serval is better in MOC. But I think in APOC and Pure Fiction, Small Herda is better. But I don't even have a built Serval. Like, I have too many characters to focus on right now. I'm not gonna bother building a Serval to clear one cycle faster when I can already clear the end game. You know what I'm saying? Don't know, MK. I just don't know, man. We don't know who. Like, if anything, Casteris is best in slot sustain. I think for SP neutrality would probably be Lingsha. But if you want energy, like if she ends up being energy hungry like my day, it's probably Huo Huo. It just all depends. If she only needs healing and she has like a special ult mechanic, there won't be any need for energy. But if my day is anything to go off of, then she's probably gonna want energy too. That's why Sunday's so fucking good with her as well. 20% energy on ult plus 10% energy from Huo Huo. No, no, not at all, guy. Not at all. Fu Xuan is just like outside of Luocha, Fu Xuan is the worst limited sustain in the game. Like, she just doesn't do much. Or she does do something, but she doesn't do enough. Yeah. Like, it's a lot more likely that if Hyacine releases around like 3.3, like that'll be the new best in slot meta sustain. Not, what's it called? Like Fu Xuan. I also think too many people underrate Lingsha. I'm getting pretty sick of it. Like, everybody only considers MOC value when pulling for Lingsha when that's like her weakest mode possible. And even then, she's still T0 in MOC. So it's like, I don't know. What the heck? An immortal vase. Interesting. Why Irokumata? I don't think so. Oh wait, no, Luocha can hit, right? Like he can hit, if I remember correctly. Like not including his ult. Can he like hit like multiple mobs? If not, not really. You made the better decision, Nyx. Ult endgame is gonna become way more AoE targeted. So even if your Fei Xiao was like good in APOC, and I'm not gonna lie, she's kind of falling off in the current MOC because of the AoE and Trotters, she'd just not be a good choice for Pure Fiction at all. Lingshaw's like the T0 sustain for every single endgame mode. Yeah, Kalen. People don't realize how big of a game changer Lingsha is until they own them. Like, I've mentioned this a lot before, but the only reason I've been able to hang on to like max stars for APOC and Pure Fiction the last few patches have solely been because of Lingsha. Not a single other reason. If it weren't for Lingsha, it wouldn't have been possible. I think the E1 GX is 100. Okay, so I've tried explaining this so many times, where people think that I'm directly comparing E1 to Triby, right? If we're all being honest, Triby is a character, so she obviously has more overall value than Herda's E1. But for Herda specifically, right, her comp specifically, her in that team, she is basically the only one who actually does damage. So Triby being a team buffer, for now, doesn't seem to be like that good of a decision until maybe Anoxa comes out, and then we'll have to see how much damage Anoxa can apply to the comp, right? But the reason why I recommend the E1 so hard is because this E2, you can just get it on a rerun in the future, and your Herda literally does double the damage. Like, if you guys go to Pride Win and their statistics for E0 versus E2, E2 against 5 targets does more than double the damage per cycle of an E0 Herda, E0 S1 Herda. So this E1 is like a 25% damage increase, and then this E2 is like an 80% damage increase overall. Like, there isn't a more broken E1 and E2 combo in the entirety of the game. So if, like, basically what I'm saying is, in all likelihood, an E0S1 Herda with like Anoxa and Triby, both with their Lycones in the future, will probably perform the same, if not possibly even worse, than like an E2S1 Herda on a free-to-play team. Like, that's how broken Herda's E2 is. It's just completely stupid. Get Triby because her E1 will become mandatory by a rerun? Let me go to... I remember the Lycone, but I don't remember the E1. I'm also pretty sure Triby's Lycone is best in slot for Robin too, by the way. For anyone wondering. Even if you don't want to pull Triby, if maybe you want to make your Robin stronger, I'm pretty sure her Lycone is better for Robin. MB4 probable Casteris E2 gap based on Hoyo release tendencies. I mean, I don't disagree. But the reason why I recommend an E2 is because E2s for, like, especially new drops of a DPS, they'll last you twice as long. And the stronger the DPS is, the more they benefit from a support's buffs, right? Like, that's how it works. Like, the DPS's damage, the higher it is, that's the baseline. And then they get a percentage buff from all supports. So that's why, like, increasing the damage mainly on a DPS, if you plan on making them as future proof as possible, is usually, like, actually good. Especially for an Emanator. I wouldn't be saying this if it weren't for her being an Emanator, but Emanators always get shilled best in slot teammates every fucking time. Because that's what Hoyo likes doing. Tahir, the leakers rated Casteris A+, and they rated My Day S, and then they rated Casteris S+. So they gave Casteris the highest possible. They rated Aglaya B, and look what happened. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. The only reason that I can somehow see Aglaya being a B is maybe the fact that she already has a best in slot team. Like, that's literally the only way I see it. Because technically Herda doesn't have her best in slot team yet, neither does Casteris. But if it's like Aglaya won't get any upcomers that are new best in slots in her team, then I could see it. Because her damage is, like, not going to improve. But I feel like almost never in this game have we gotten, like, no, like, new best in slots for a comp. Like eventually there's a harmony that comes around, and then it ends up making old DPS significantly stronger too. So I genuinely don't know what the leakers know. Like maybe they already know all the way up until 3.4 or some shit, but yeah, Aglaia doesn't exactly look like a B currently. I think Aglaia is literally like right there with fucking Herda. All right, here it is. Her signature Lycone. I just fucking found it. So increases her crit damage by 36%. For every one enemy target hit by allies, wearer gains one stack of presage, stacking up to 60 times. After the wearer uses ultimate, consumes all presage stacks. For each stack consumed, regenerates a certain amount of energy, and increases allies' crit damage percent by a certain amount of turns. When entering battle, the wearer gains 60 presage stacks and regenerates 30 energy. Yeah. Like, that Lycone is just so fucking stupid, man. Jingliu and Doc crying in the corner. Bro, it's so sad. Oh my god. I mean, the thing is, Axe, have you seen the new leaks on an up and coming character? So, there's a new leak on a girl that was like that barely popped up in the trailer. And apparently this girl is a physical bleed dog character. Like, it literally came out 18 hours ago. Her name's like Heislins or something like that. And she's physical, or she's like based around physical dot. No, this is, I'm not talking about Cypher. This is a different character. This is a newer one that just got leaked yesterday. Like, it's rumored that she might be a physical dot character. Oh wait, I forgot to check Triby Z1. What's Triby Z1? Additional damage dealt by the zone increases to 100 for 20% of original damage. Like, yeah, man. Like, so specifically for bleed, I think so. Yeah. Let me recheck. I remember there being more info on it. Yeah. So her DU thing. Oh wait, no, it isn't only specifically bleed, but there's like this blessing I think she has, something like that. Yeah, Divergent Universe, Chalice of Plenty. It's around physical dot. And during daytime, increase all ally targets' final damage by 25%, and inflict enemy targets with Magnum Opus. At the start of each turn, receive additional damage equal to 400% of base physical damage. And there's a shit ton more here. Increases daytime ratio by 25% during daytime. Increase ally targets' final damage by 30%. So she just seems like a fucking insane dot support for like, or just a physical support. She sounds more like a support Irokumata. It doesn't sound like she herself necessarily does this damage. And she even gives like buffs, like damage percent buffs to like allies. It's like Unending Carnival sounds like a skill here. Actually, I should probably just show you guys. It shouldn't be an issue. This is what it is right here. My Jiaoq's even more cooked. Jeez, man, Jiaoq. Is Kafka still the driver? There's a good chance. So Heislin, or however you say your name, is completely different from, I think, Cypher, who was also supposed to be a rumored dot character. So at this point, what I'm assuming is this girl might be a support for like Cypher or Cyrene, whichever one it was that's dot. And this means that the main dot DPS that we'll end up getting is a physical one. That's just my guess at this point. Because everything, like all her support abilities here are damage increase and like physical damage increase. So I think a physical dot DPS is like the most likely for dot. I think it's just like a name for like some ability they have in Drina. I think that's all it is. Like it's probably just a name for like an ability they'll have. Yeah, like Kafka's 100% the reason why Dot is weak right now. Like if you really think about it, back in like 2.0, Kafka hitting like 2 or 300k ults back then was actually good. Like I think the average HP of bosses back in like 2.0, 2.1 was like a million. It was in the low millions, like only a million, 1.1 million. So you could like 1 or 2 cycle with Kafka without much issue. But nowadays in the current MOC, I'm pretty sure elites have more HP than the old bosses. So it's like 300k, it just isn't enough. The leakers changed Anoxa from Ice Nihility to Imaginary Erudition a while ago. Like a week ago at this point, I think. Almost a week ago. I'm not sure, GX, because I don't have Sunday myself. Although, one thing I will once again mention, a big plus that Sunday has over the other supports is not only the energy on ult, but also the 20% crit rate passive. So you can get a lot higher crit damage on your the Herda, even without the light cone if you run a Sunday. 20% crit rate is so OP. I know, man. It's so fucking broken. Alright, let's try APOC next with this team. I already did Pure Fiction. Nice build on Herda. Eh. It's technically decent, but I'm not using the right planar set. So yesterday when we did APOC Shadow, with Robin and a sustain, I was able to, the max damage I hit was 4.3 million on broken TVs. But I'm pretty sure with Izumo, it'd be like significantly higher. Like 4.5 or 4.6. And I was also using Robin, which is a worse buffer as well. Yeah, it's 100% better for Pure Fiction. I just don't have an Izumo set for her, unfortunately. I have like every single damage bonus sphere with crit stats except for ice damage. And I also don't have an attack percent I can use on her. So it's just a lose-lose for me. Oh yeah, I also did a sustainless run when I woke up. I got it first try, but it wasn't a good sustainless run. This increases her enhanced skill damage, by the way. So do not fall for the propaganda here. Do not fall for the propaganda. Oh my god, big damage, 5 million when I break the TVs. Do not fall for the propaganda. Why do you need 100 crit rate? I mean, you don't need 100 crit rate, but like, missing crits is just really annoying. My 3270 Jingliu is eating good. That's like the only plus Jingliu has, is that she really doesn't need all that much crit rate. I wonder if they'll ever release Screwlum at this point anymore. They just keep moving his kit to different characters. Do you think Herta's S1 is worth it, or should I save up for Triby? It depends who you're gonna use as a support on her. If you're already using Sunday, Triby like isn't even needed. Like even Remembrance MC. Once again, I think the issue with Triby here is that even if she isn't necessarily like a Zhao Q level support, the thing is you're gonna put Sunday and Remembrance MC on different DPS's teams that can take better advantage of them. So for that sole reason, I think Triby actually has like good value for the Herta. Like Triby's skill point positive, she has 30% vulnerability. At E0S0, she's 100% worse than E0S1, but she's still good. And she's a new character, right? At the end of the day, having a new character over a Lycone and an Eidolon is usually like better overall for account value.
Hedge your bets.
Do this. It's never enough, is it? It's never enough. Yes, I know I'm playing this wrong, by the way. I know I should be going for specific TVs, but I just don't care. I feel like Triby will be getting buffed right after. No, I don't doubt Triby getting a buff. I'm pretty confident she needs it right now. Mostly for her E0S0. I think E0S1 is actually fine. But her E0S0 is worse than like free-to-play RMC. And RMC isn't even targeted towards Herta. He's just that good, right? Like, you're not even taking full advantage of RMC on a Herta team anyways. Alright, please tell me this is enough to break them. And it's not. There we go. I'm gonna see if I can keep them alive.
Sure, I'll play along. The dice have been bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
Oh, DDD, yeah. Bro, Axe, I didn't even know, like, I had an S5 DDD. I was told by my chat, like, 4 streams ago. I thought I had 0 DDD on my account. Like, I completely forgot it existed, and they, like, spotted it out for me. I have an S5 DDD and an S3 one. Oh, shit, I should have used it on, whatever. Don't kill, don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. Alright, this is a really good. So this is like one of the highest damage you can possibly do, right? Enhanced skill, broken, 42 stacks. Remembrance Trailblazer. It'll do like what? So 5.2 million. That is easily the highest I've hit. Yeah, 5.2 million. Yesterday the highest we hit was 4.3. Pretty good, pretty good. Just lost 50-50 in 20 pulls. Do I go all in for Herta or save? Just do whatever you want, honestly. I think I'd recommend saving, because Herta is looking like a really costly team with all the upcoming best in slots. Obviously, you don't need every best in slot, but you're for sure going to have to wait for those reruns, and they're going to take like half a year. Is this E2 Herta or E1? This is E1. This is E1 Herta. E2 Herta would completely fucking demolish this, because she'd be able to have enhanced skill uptime nearly the entire time. My Herta is E1 S1. Alright, 42 stacks, not broken, like a million? Yeah, 1.2. So when they aren't broken, it does like 1.2.
No dirty tricks, alright?
Yeah, the Herda is like, I don't know, best in slot after best in slot after best in slot is like, I mean, if you have the pulls for it, 100% you could go for it, right? But in all likelihood, you're going to end up losing at least 150-50, and that's going to set you back. Oh, come on. At least he doesn't get rid of that much energy. Free break from Aventurine as well. Didn't you say you won't pull for the Herda? I got Herda's light cone in one. So I got Herda's light cone at 3 pity. So yeah, that's why I pulled for the Herda. This isn't gonna be max stacks, is it? Oh wait, no. This isn't even better. Okay, so I should hit even higher damage this time, no? Unless I miss a crit. Oh, never mind. It's the same 5.2 million. Need what, Irogumata? If you can dart, I would recommend it. But I think a better thing to do, right? If you're this skeptical, right? Like if you're in my chat like sweating over whether or not pulling Triby or Herda is better, wait until right before Herda's banner goes away. Because I think by then we will have like V3 or V4 Triby, and her kit will be a lot more set in stone by then than currently in the V1. Like V1s always get dramatically changed, or at least even just small changes, right? So if you're fully sweating it, just wait right before her banner goes until like V3 or V4 Triby is out. Then make your decision on how good Triby is, right? If she becomes a way better best in slot, then 100% I'd pull for Triby over the E1. Because like she's just going to have more value even outside of being on just the Herda team. A Herda E1 is only for the Herda. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we'll get a Noxa leaks until nearly the end of 3.0 though. Like even with all those Triby and My Day leaks we were getting a few days before 3.0 hit, like a lot of the information was wrong. Like it was similar, but a lot was wrong still. You really can only trust like the gameplay leaks. To here, currently from what I've seen, I'm pretty sure My Day's best in slot teammates are also Sunday in Remembrance MC. So the issue with Triby on a My Day team is that My Day genuinely wants as much action advance as possible. So like the more turns he takes, the more damage he does, the more HP he consumes. So Triby with no action advance doesn't really help his case much. So yeah, he has the exact same best in slot team as like a lot of other DPSs, I'm going to be honest. TDD trust. Trust in DDD. Trust in DDD. 24% action forward on ult. You know what I think they could do, Axe? Like, no troll, if they just made Triby's energy cost for her ult lower, DDD would actually be a really good fucking, like thing to use. Because her ult doesn't, like, I know it gives that vulnerability field, but I still think it should be a bit lower. Then you could actually, like, use DDD consistently. It depends on your account, Dart. I'm not gonna lie, it's too hard trying to give objective opinions on what the best pull value is for characters when so many people have different accounts. Like, I'm gonna be honest, there are some accounts that could really use Lingsha, and there are some accounts that don't need Lingsha at all. Like, there's no way for me to know people's accounts. Like mine personally, I'm pretty sure I have 5 limited sustains. So I have a Venturine, Lingsha, Wowo, and Fushuan. Am I missing one? I think I'm missing one, no? Maybe I only have 4. Characters, abundances. Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah. So preservation, yeah, I have 2 too. So 2 limiteds. The only one I'm missing is Luocha. Gallagher's your 5th? We're considering Gallagher a limited sustain? I mean, yeah, pretty much. He is better than Luocha in most cases. If Casteris gets Remembrance MC, how are we going to use the Hera at the same time? That's where they get you, bullets. That's what I was saying earlier. That they'll get you by knowing you're going to use Remembrance MC and Sunday on a different team. So then that makes the second best option Triby. That's how they get you, man. That's how they get you. You play the story yet? Yeah, I already finished it. I finished Peak Furious. I gave Dawei 1 trillion hours of playtime after finishing the main story quest. Is every Amphorius character using the same team? All the up and coming ones, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. This is literally the break dilemma all over again, where all 3 wanted Ruan Mei and Harmony Trailblazer. Like, it's literally the exact same fucking thing. Like, the Herda wants Sunday or Remembrance MC. Aglaya wants, I'm pretty sure Aglaya's best in slot is Sunday Remembrance MC. My Day wants Sunday Remembrance MC. And according to the leakers, Casteris also wants Sunday Remembrance MC. But keep in mind, these are best in slots, right? You can get away with a worse character. I saw someone try Ruan Mei with My Day, but the thing is, they kind of like counteract each other because My Day wants to be hit and Ruan Mei gives like enemy action delay. So it didn't exactly work out too well. Yes, Mish. Yes. If you have them like really hyper speed, like you need really high speed to make him good though. Like 166 speed, crit damage. Obviously, the higher the crit damage, the better. I just don't have good speed crit damage relics. But yeah, you want him like really high speed, and you can actually get really good value out of him. Yeah, Pooh. Like I can't give like I'm giving general advice to people with subjective account experiences. Is kind of the issue here. Like I'll this is why I always talk about objective value, not subjective value, because I just can't guess what people's accounts look like. Is your remembrance MC on Eagle Set? No. I know Eagle Set is like the best possible case scenario, but I'm way too busy right now. Like I already need to farm way too much for other characters. I'm fine with him not being on Eagle Set currently. What do you think? Should I pull for Triby because I don't have Ruan May? I mean, the fact that you're saying I don't have Ruan May when she's one of the worst options possible implies you don't exactly have many Harmony options. So if that's the case, yeah, I'd probably recommend pulling for Triby. Remembrance MC is better than Robin when well built. Robin really doesn't buff Herta's damage that much. Like as I was mentioning earlier, the highest we hit yesterday with that exact same team, but with Robin instead in APOC, was 4.3 million. And that was a best case scenario where every single TV had 42 stacks. And in the APOC I just did with Remembrance MC, she did 5.3 million instead, and the TVs didn't even have max stacks on them. True damage is just better. She's also more SP hungry, which is really fucking annoying. Like that's the only reason I have a Venturine on this team, by the way. Otherwise, I'd use Lingsha. But there just isn't enough skill points to go around on this comp. Yeah, like you need to spam energy over and over, or skill over and over again when Robin's outside of her ult to actually get it back. Unless you run Lingsha on like Quid Pro Quo or something. Like that's the only way probably. And just hope that it all goes to Robin. No, they won't sim. Yeah. That's why I was recommending Lingsha so hard. Although I think Huo is probably so fuck. For skill point positivity, Aventurine's the best in like sustain. For skill point neutrality, Lingsha is the best sustain. And then if you're trying to consume skill points every fucking turn, like you have enough for it, then Huo is the best in slot sustain. Like you have three different options, I'm not gonna lie. Like obviously Venturine probably won't fit with the HP scalers because he just can't heal them, right? But that is currently what it's looking like for the 3.x DPSs. Yep, just buy the light cone, just buy Triby, just buy Anaxa. Give Dawe $1 trillion so he can buy his 26th yacht. Keep in mind that Hoyo is an indie company, so the more you support them, the more we get in return. Not exactly devs. Like not any DPS, because an E1 Robin with any of the HP scalers is like still not a good idea, because HP scalers don't use attack at all. Like even an E1 Robin would probably get outdone by Remembrance Trailblazer and Sunday. Do you know Dawei? How could I not know him? He's my glorious king. Has Break reached its peak? Temporarily, probably. In the future, probably not. I mean, I think it's a pretty obvious thing with Hoyo these days. They always come back around to the old metas. Like, they just keep cycling over and over again. Like, currently, we're in an energy meta after getting people like Fei Xiao and Acheron who had special mechanics for their ults. We also had, like, Break. Then we had Hyper Carry. Like, it keeps changing, I'm not gonna lie. I think Triby is more so because you're gonna put your Remembrance MC and Sunday on one team. Like every upcoming DPS wants those two, and it's like, oh, if you want to have any good supports left for your second team, then you should probably pull Triby. Like that's kind of what Triby feels like right now. I do not want to go back to using Robin on my the Herda team because of how unskill point friendly she is. And the fact that she isn't even a better buffer in the first place. The only advantage she has is the action advance. Triby feels like Zhao Q, but yeah, but the thing is, currently, she's not even a Zhao Q. Like, Zhao Q in his V1 was genuinely the most broken character to ever touch this game. He received 4 or 5 nerfs in a row and still came out making an Acheron do twice as good. Like, but it's a pretty different story with Triby currently. She's not, like, noticeably better than, like, a few other supports. Unless you get that light cone. Once again, it's seeming like Hoyo's starting to do this. The light cones are really fucking good for the upcoming characters. That light cone on Triby, allowing her to instantly pop ult, is really fucking nice. You can even use it on Robin. His nerfs were pretty inconsequential, to be fair. Really? I remember the main nerf, like, he used, like, I'm pretty sure now there's only a limited amount of stacks he can add before he has to use his ult again. But, like, I think in his, like, V2 or V3, he didn't have that, like, limitation. So, like, every single time enemies moved, you'd keep getting more and more stacks off of him. I think that was, like, the biggest nerf he got. Outside of, like, the propaganda of him being a healer. I don't think he was ever actually a healer. I'm pretty sure that was just, like, speculation before the V1 released. Yeah, I get why they did that, yeah, 100%. But, man, like, V1, V2 Zhaoqiu was looking like a beast, bro. He was looking like a beast. Yeah, he was never a healer, yeah. There was always rumors about it, like, before the in-game leaks, but I guess people just got fooled by his description. I hope Hyacine isn't the same situation. Like, I really hope Hyacine actually is, like, an in-game healer. He's only good in, like, one team now, though. I agree. That's the reason why I skipped him. But you do have to keep in mind that his value alone in the Acheron team just absolutely skyrockets him in a lot of endgame modes. Like, he made, in my opinion, right? This could be a hot take. I'm not sure. Like, E0S1 Acheron with a Zhao Q is better than an E2S1 Acheron without a Zhao Q. Like, Zhao Q is that fucking good for her. That would be nice, X. That would be nice. If we just get, like, more or another DPS that gains, like, maybe a special mechanic the more stacks you have, like, he could instantly be put as a best in slot in that. Depends what team you're running on that E2 Acheron. I don't even think it matters what team you're running on that E2 Acheron. Like, Zhao Q is just more important. Even outside of his stacks, like the stacks he gets for Acheron, his vulnerability makes her do way more fucking damage. Like, it's almost on harmony levels of more extra damage. The day Acheron dies is the day Zhao Q dies, unless they replace Acheron. I mean, Acheron could be replaced. Like, I wouldn't doubt it. It would honestly be nice if the new dot DPS also had a special mechanic like Acheron for their ult. Because then that would genuinely give, like, Zhao Q some nice value. Right? Like, that would be some nice value. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I see a lot of people still saying and still hoping that Hoyo adds another best in slot nihility that's like Zhao Q level for Acheron. But I really just don't think that's going to happen. I do not really see Acheron getting another best in slot Nihility support. Unless it's indirectly, right? Like, let's say the new Nihility support is for the newest Nihility DPS, however, also fits in an Acheron team. Like, I think that's significantly more likely than another best in slot. Yeah, that's true, Axe. Yeah, that's true. Her E2 does lose a lot of value if both her best in slot teammates end up being Nihility anyways. She would lose a lot of value from that. Unless you're trying to run like sustainless or some shit. Bro, HP support, I've been saying this. How the fuck is there 0 leaks of an HP support? We are in 3.x. Blade came out in 1.x. We're getting 2 HP DPS scalers. There's not even a smidge, a small pebble of a hint that we are going to get an HP support at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. I pulled for E2 on the rerun and I got Japard, so I quit. Oh my god. I know I shouldn't be laughing, but holy fuck. That's unfortunate. I'm not that's unfortunate, man. Hey, I'd probably quit too, bro. I mean, actually no, I don't think I'd quit, but it wouldn't feel good. 2 HP DPS. Who's the second one other than My Day? It's Casteris. Casteris is also an HP scaling DPS. The only leak we have for Casteris gameplay wise is apparently she drains team HP. So yeah. Oh, I quit going for E2. I was bro, I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's understandable though. Jing Liu moment. Jing Liu moment. Jing Liu replacement. They can't release an HP support because that would make Blade broken. They could make an HP support that makes HP DPSs do double the damage, and Blade would still take like 3 or 4 cycles in all endgame. Like, he is genuinely just that atrocious at this point. Like, the 300k may be unreachable for me meme is genuinely like a real thing if you don't run him sustainless with like triple harmony or something. Like, it's like he's genuinely so fucking ass. Like, it'd probably be another Jing Yuan situation. Literally a support who just completely skyrockets their performance. And even though they're good, they're still not like even necessarily like meta. HSR for Arena soon? Hey, I'm waiting for it, man. I'm waiting for it. They better have a disgusting E1 and S1 too. I drop money instantly. Yeah, Lar. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's wrong. So this was my own guess that I've mentioned a lot of times before, but that old leaked like team comp of Casteris, My Day, and Double Sustain, I'm pretty sure was only for My Day. Because My Day's E1 plus S1 makes it to where healing him adds on to his blood accumulation. So as far as we know, Casteris doesn't have anything like that, but My Day genuinely benefits from having like 2 sustains in a way. So I think that was just like a random testing team to see how My Day would perform. It's seeming like Casteris is just going to be a really slow nuke DPS that you use Remembrance MC and Sunday on. Because I'm pretty sure you just use Triby's Relic set, and Triby's Relic set gives her 32% crit rate, right? Where is it? It's not this one, is it? This one. So 32% crit rate if you have her at 95 base speed. And it applies to the Memo Sprite as well. So the Memo Sprite also gets 32% extra crit rate. And then with the Sunday, this turns into 20 more crit rate. You know what I'm saying? So Casteris, even without substats, I'm pretty sure someone said in my chat yesterday, she'll have like 62% crit rate at base without including substats at all. Remembrance MC is plus 10%. Oh, really? Yeah, that explains it. So she'll have 60% plus crit rate, which is just without substats, by the way. That's without substats. So you probably just run her crit damage, and her light cone will probably also be crit damage. W coming from someone who doesn't understand speed at all. I mean, this isn't like the like action value. Like you just have to have a low amount of speed. So if this number is at 95, you get 32% free crit rate on your Casteris. That's basically it. Does 3.0 have E2 RMC? 3.0 has E6 Remembrance MC. I already got him E6. You basically get it from just doing the main storyline. It's really easy. I'm actually glad they did this because Harmony MC was way more fucking annoying to get. That's not fair, yeah. So she's probably going to be like a huge nuke with a shit ton of crit damage, which is going to be really, really nice. Like, it's kind of, even outside of her taking HP from her teammates like Jing Liu, she's also going to be a mainly like crit damage built character like Jing Liu, where you don't really need like much crit rate at all. So yeah, it seems like Casteris, even though she's like seal power creep in terms of design, is actually like more so replacing Jing Liu. Yeah, HMC was way, way more annoying. I don't even think I have E6 HMC. Yeah, Sunday's buffs as well give more crit damage and damage bonus too. Yeah, probably Jay. You probably put Remembrance MC and Sunday on the absolute highest speed you can get them, and just spam skill over and over and over again on Casteris, and she just takes as many turns as possible. Thank God I'm just doing story. I'm almost done with this Yap Fest. Yeah, it's pretty long. I think if you don't skip dialogue, it's around like 11 hours. But I skipped dialogue, so it took me like 5. Remembrance MC, Lar. Remembrance MC. It's gonna be Sunday and Remembrance MC as the supports. As for Sustain, if I had to guess, if she's energy hungry, it'll be Huohuo. But I do think we're getting a new Abundance in 3.3. And that would probably be the new best in slot Sustain. So do keep that in mind. Yeah, like half the characters aren't voiced, yeah. It's so annoying. Almost there. I thought I had some fuel. Damn. That's brutal. Just farm crit damage rolls? Yeah. Just farm crit damage rolls. I actually wanted to show you guys something. I don't remember if I got this off stream or not. I recently leveled up a relic, and like I've never gotten worse rolls before in my life. I think I might have fed it. So basically, I got a double crit relic. Or sorry, I got one crit, one speed relic. And it had two defense stats as well. And five of the substats went into defense. No, it's a different one, Irokumata. It's a different one, I think. Or is it the one I did live? Yeah, Blad. It's like, oh my god. But no, I did get a worse one this morning where all five rolls went on break effect. It was a four piece. 1000% in game crit damage. I'm kind of curious. What I really look forward to in Casteris is I do not care if she's like stronger than the Herda. I wouldn't mind if she was as strong or even only slightly stronger, but I don't want her to be another Acheron. Like, that's kind of my only thing. I don't want another Acheron that has like a special mechanic that is really hard to fulfill or like reliant on Lycone or Eidolon. Like, I'm talking Lycone is like a 30% damage boost, and like E1 or E2 is like a 100% damage boost like Herda. Because like Herda at E0S0 is fine, skill point on friendly. E0S1 good, one of the best DPSs in the game. But like her E2 is absolutely fucking bonkers. I hope Casteris' E2 is a little more toned down and the E1 is actually a little stronger. I think there should be more of a balance between E1s and E2s. Then instead of like, oh, E1, nice, like a 20% damage increase. Bam! You get the E2 and you're doing double the damage out of nowhere. It's like, I'd rather it be a little more equal. Oh, 100% Herda is going to survive longer than Acheron. The only issue that Herda kind of has is skill points. That's really it. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's the only issue, really. And with Anaxa, if Anaxa actually is a sub DPS, Herda will actually benefit a lot from this, especially with Triby, since Triby's a team buffer. If Anaxa does a good amount of damage, that's going to add a lot to her overall cycle damage. Because the issue with like small Herda and small Serval is that even though they take a lot of turns, like you just run them as batteries. That's all they exist. They're literally your big Herda slaves. That's all they are. They don't really contribute damage. So if he does contribute good enough damage, it could actually be really good. Yeah, that too, Mini. I mean, so long as she's strong enough, I'm fine with it, right? You know what? I actually take it back. I think I'm fine with them making her kinda like Conan Eidolon, like making those absolute game changers. If they make another Jiao for Casteris, like I won't have issues with it if there's like a support that comes down the line that is a bigger benefit than like a Lycone or Eidolon for Casteris. I'd much prefer that. The biggest W of Acheron is Jiao. Like 100% it is. Jiao just allows for way, way easier clears. Is Aventurine still bugged? No, they fixed him. He's not bugged anymore. I do think they will, Axe. I do think they will. If I understand the path and the element got changed to Imaginary Edition, but if like the old kit leaks are anything to go off of, He's like all the leakers were saying that he's just like a sub DPS who fits in any crit DPS's team. Like he isn't stuck to one person, but he's a good sub DPS for literally every crit DPS in the entirety of the game. So if that actually does end up being true, I would much prefer that. That is significantly better than someone like Zhao Q, who's mostly stuck on like an Acheron team most of the time at E0. That was only one part, Mini. That was only one part. There was another. So basically, they made it a bit longer. There was another part where it said that he'd inflict something called like Migo or Migo, and enemies would take more damage scaling off of his own attack percent. So it implied that he's an attack percent scaler who can make enemies take more damage, imply weakness or like do weakness implant, and he does his own damage as well. So he does like 3 different things at once, and all 3 of those things are good for literally every DPS in the game. Making enemies taking more damage, weakness implant, and what's it called? The Migo thing. And also another thing is, specifically on the Herda team, I'm pretty sure the Herda gives another erudition unit 80% crit damage. If I remember correctly. I don't remember where it is. Yeah. When entering battle, if the team has 2 or more erudition characters, increases all allies crit damage by 80%. So if he's genuinely like a sub DPS, this trace right here would be really, really good with him. I mean, it's better than them not having a weakness, at least, the Irokumata. Like, that's the thing. At least it's slightly better. You know what I'm saying? Although this made me think, if you could, like, cheese, like, if the kit leaks are true and he actually does make enemies take more damage scaling off of his attack, I was low-key wondering if maybe that would mean he's good with Robin. And, like, Robin's increased attack buff would apply to his increased damage on enemies. Because that would low-key be a nice combo. No wonder they're rerunning Silverwolf. I mean, we are a bit far away. And after Triby, I have trust issues with leakers leaking kits this early. Like, the only reason I was hyping up Triby so hard for so long is because the leakers kept saying that she gave action advance depending on how many mobs on field were hit, which sounded absolutely fucking busted for teams like the Herda. And then that just like it disappeared. It just disappeared. That's understandable, Yui. But yeah, like I had so much hope, so much hype. I thought she'd be like the next best action advancer, and then boom, it just disappears. Nowhere to be seen. Completely gone. Absolutely based. Yeah, probably Oroku I was thinking of that too, but you know, a man can dream. A man can dream. Is there like a better looking? This is probably the best looking place in Emphorius. This is probably more eye candy for you guys. What does Triby even do? 24% res pen on the skill, 30% vulnerability, or like enemies take more damage by 30% when she has her ult up. And she does follow-ups whenever your ally uses an ult, which is mainly just a gimmick to make Herda get stacks and regen energy faster. How's the Herda gap? Really good. Really fucking good. I earlier today I hit my high score using a sustainless Herda team. My previous high score was with a Facial. And the Herda's like worst mode is APOC. Really, Axe. I've never actually played Overwatch before. Oh wait, you can collect your thoughts here. Let's collect my thoughts. Wow. I mean, this is deep. This has a deeper meaning. Oh, it's just Phaedon's trial again? Oh. Oh, it's Yaoi. Okay. My bad. For some reason, I confused it for something deep. They should remove My Day's auto enhanced attack. Um, I agree. I think the only annoying thing about his auto enhanced attack is like APOC or MOC when you might want to like specifically hit a certain mob to get more value out of your turns. Although overall, I don't think it's really that big of a deal, right? They'll obviously just compensate for him compensate for it by making him stupidly busted. Like that's basically what they always do. Don't play it, play Marvel Rivals instead. I've had it downloaded for like a week and I haven't even touched the game yet. I'm scared of going on that game and just getting my shit completely smacked. I cannot zero cycle with the Herda currently. It's mostly a skill issue, but I cannot zero cycle with the Herda on the MOC right now. The sustainless runs were 2 RNG, and each time that I was like so close to finishing the first side in 0 cycles, either a trotter or like one of the elites, they'd live like I'd go in the thing, they'd have 1% HP, 1 or 2% HP, and no matter how much I optimized the turns, it wasn't enough. I need Sunday. If I had Sunday, I could 0 cycle with the Herd, I'm pretty sure. But I can't do it with Robin and Trailblazer. Do you think I can get E2S1 Casteris if I just got Herda and have 0 tickets? Probably not. E2S1 is 4 limited copies. Probably not. I think from here today to like 3.2, you can probably get like 200 pulls. And then the beginning phase of 3.2, you'll probably be able to get like 80. The reason I say like a high amount like 80 is because it's anniversary. So we'll get like 20 or 30 free limited pulls like last time. My Day works fine without Triby. My Day's best in slot team is Casteris' best in slot team, which is Remembrance, Trailblazer, and what's it called? Sunday. Yeah, you can just wait, Lar. You can just wait. Oh, you're using the Battle Pass Lycone S5? Oh, yeah. The Battle Pass Lycone S5 is like the closest thing to her signature. The only thing that really matters about her Lycone is the skill point refund. That's like the only thing you can't get out of it. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, Jay. Like, it's genuinely frustrating that so many up-and-coming DPSs want Sunday. Like, I really want another Harmony. Like, outside of Triby, I'd really appreciate another Harmony release that can, like, take Sunday's place, kinda, on, like, a second team. Like, there almost isn't a single better hypercarry support in the game than Sunday at this point. It's just too much. Like, I always talk about him with his Lycone, but even without the Lycone, he's at least still skill point neutral. But, like, with the Lycone, man, it's like he makes any skill point heavy team so much easier to use. Like, so much easier. I mean, not really, Valk. It makes sense if you like My Day's like design better. But personally, like if you're talking about meta, like chances of Casteris being stronger, yeah, it's pretty insane. Anniversary DPSs at this point just always get glazed. I've always said this before, but you should rate like the strength of a character in game off of their importance in the story, right? Like this always applies for initial release. Initial release, they'll always be one of the most broken characters in the game. And currently the two most hyped in the story are Casteris and Phanon. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it happens over and over again. It was the same with Firefly and Acheron. Firefly and Acheron were like the main characters of 2.x Pentagony. And guess what? They ended up being the ones who got the best in slot future supports. It happens every time. Bro, Axe, I'm actually sad as fuck. But like, me personally, the only reason Casteris wins over My Day for me is the Black Dragon. Like, I can't ignore it. It's too cool. So, unfortunately, that's like the main thing holding me back from My Day. I really want a character with like a massive black dragon like that. It looks so fucking sick. Especially her animation. I really like the animation as well in the teaser. Nice. E1 Jade and a Lycone with your Herda is 100% sounding like a really good team. Mr. Pokey did one today, but with E2 Robin. Yeah, the E2. I know the E2 doesn't do any damage increase, but the E2 helps tuning turns like a lot more, right? Like you get a lot more turns with the E2 Robin. However, E1 Robin is so fucking huge for anyone. Like I'm pretty sure that's just a straight up 24% damage increase overall. Like I was watching Mr. Pokey yesterday as well. E0S1 or sorry, E2S1 Robin, and the man was hitting with an E0S1 Herda like in the millions in MOC. Like that usually doesn't happen. Like even my E1S1 Herda currently with an E0 Robin was hitting like I never hit a mil in MOC. But he was hitting like 1.2, 1.3 million. As well, another thing that kind of nerfs her damage a bit is I don't have Izumo. This is better for Pure Fiction, but it's worse for MOC and APOC. Robin showcase? Nah, literally, man. Literally. It was literally a Robin showcase. The crazy thing is, Axe, I think he did exact same cost, right? Like the same cost as his Herda team. He did an E1 DPS Lingsha team with like E1 Fugue. And I'm pretty sure that team like zero cycled significantly easier on the Svarog side. Like he did it first try with DPS Lingsha. Like that's just so dumb, man. Gab is a whale now. I'm not a whale, guys. Even if I do get E2S1 Herda, my second team will probably be Casteris at like E0S0. Like, it doesn't get more relatable than that. Although the Herda team might be a little broken, that's just because I want to make her future-proof. I'm tired of constantly keeping up with like newer DPSs. So if I just make the Herda twice as strong with the E2, she'll take twice as long to be power crept. Hey, I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. Don't care who Hoyo sends. I am not pulling Lingsha. I mean, that's understandable. It was E1 Lingsha and E1 Fugue. And the combination of those two things is like a massive, massive increase in performance. But yeah, DPS Lingsha propaganda is still going strong. Is Izumo better than Rudolent? Yeah, Xavier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure Izumo is like 100% the best in slot, but I think the second best option is Rudolent, from what I've heard. I'm pretty sure Rudolent's the second best. I'm probably skipping casters for Phanon. That's understandable. Izumo's purple, so it's better. A. I didn't say it. That dragon made me fold my plans. Yeah, I was really considering maybe getting My Day and skipping casters instead, but after that animation teaser, there's just no way. Like that, in my opinion, that's the best animation in the game. And apparently, according to the leakers, that isn't her ult. Or at least it isn't like the whole thing. Like they cut out a part of it. Yeah, I'm also pretty like, I'm kind of relying on luck. I think I can, right? I think I can get a Sunday and a Casteris no matter what, right? If I'm not able to get E2 Herda in time, I'll be able to get a Sunday and Casteris no matter what. But I really want Sunday's Lycone. Like that's a really important piece to the puzzle for me. Honkai Star Rail leaks Reddit Dolan. When is Casteris coming out after My Day? 3.2 first phase, and My Day is 3.1 second phase. Like they're running back to back HP DPSs. No, exactly, Jay. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Like a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, what if Casteris' Lycone or Eidolons end up being more broken?" But it's like Sunday has so much fucking higher value in 3.x that I have zero issues going with his Lycone, even if it's like an overall damage loss. Like I don't really care. His Lycone is just too good to pass up on. Yeah, by the way, even with that one Herda 50-50 loss and that one Lycone win, I'm still in the negatives for wins. I believe my 50-50 win-loss rate is 25.75 and Lycone is 33.66. What's up, Gabby? What's up, Shadow? I also hope Triby's mid. Well, actually, I hope she's good, but for my personal, you know, agenda of going for Casteris and Sunday, I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on Triby. What's your highest 50-50 loss streak? I think 8. I think it was 8. 7 or 8. I'm pretty sure it's 8, though. I lost 8 50-50s in a row. The highest I've ever been in pity is 87, which was when I lost Ruan Mei on my OG account. I went to 87 and then lost. Apparently, I've seen that some people actually go all the way to 90, which is actually pretty insane to think about. Like, that's some crazy bad luck. The good thing is, though, because I did a 10 pull and I got the Lycone literally on the first pull of the 10 pull, I have 9 free pity on the Lycone banner. So this is actually like a bit of a W for going for Sunday's Lycone. Oh, Starro Station? Yeah, I think I went on there before. I don't remember though. Me and still lose the 50/50s? Yeah. I really wish at least the Lycone banner was guaranteed in this game. Like, I don't mind the character banner exactly being 50/50, but like losing on a Lycone when you have a 75% chance of winning feels so much worse. It feels so much fucking worse. Damn, that sucks, crowing. Lycone banner not being 100% should be a war crime? Yeah, it's so bad. Like, even in WUWA, outside of the fact that WUWA has it guaranteed, they also have a separate currency for the weapon banner, and they give you that currency for free as well. So WUWA has a lower soft pity, a guaranteed on the weapon banner, and they give you currency specifically for the weapon banner. So it's like a million times easier to go for a signature in WUWA than it is to go for a signature in this game. I think WUWA is the only game where I might spend money at some point. Like a good amount of money. Like it would be the only one because power creep in WUWA doesn't really seem to be like much of a thing at all. And getting like S2 on some characters like makes them double their damage. I wonder if I put my thing on max graphics, it'll look better. It kind of looks the same. Yeah, I saw that crowing. I saw someone like the new hologram in 2.0. Someone soloed the max level one with Donjin. Like people have some insane mechanical skill in that game. No, I don't play Genshin in ZZZ. Casteris is 3.2. Triby isn't gonna be best in slot for casters. Like this isn't a Herda situation or a My Day situation. Like straight up the best remembrance supports in the entirety of the game are Sunday and Remembrance Trailblazer. And you can't use Robin because they aren't attack scaling. And I doubt Triby will actually be like a best in slot for a Remembrance. I wish I could go down here. Is it really Shinny? I think the best thing you can do as a low spender or free to play in Honkai Star Rail is you just have to skip a patch. Like you skip one patch and then you pull on the next one and then you skip another patch and you pull on the next one. That's like the best way to play this game if you're a free to play or low spender. So that you can at least guarantee that you get a character you want. Yeah, I got the Lycone as well, Paul. E1S1. I also got Remembrance Trailblazer up a little bit more. I need to get his HP stuff, though, so he doesn't die. Yeah, Draco. uh, you might be in a bit of a pickle, Maddie. You might be in a bit of a pickle, if that's the case. You know, hypothetically, right? This is all hypothetical, but it might be a little bit, you know, not on the easy side. Triby depends on ult spamming, and since Memo Sprites also have ult, she can go crazy. I think the thing is, like, Triby's ult spamming. Triby doesn't even ult spam, no? Isn't Triby, like, I'm pretty sure her ult should actually be, like, lower energy. If you mean the follow-ups when an ally uses an ult, I just don't think it's enough. Unless Casteris has, like, some type of inbuilt mechanic that maybe when Triby hits enemies on fields, Casteris or her Memo Sprite will get action advance or some bullshit like that. Like, it would have to be something like that for Triby to be a best in slot over Remembrance MC and Sunday. Because keep in mind, like, even currently, not including Remembrance DPSs, all of the upcoming DPSs still want Sunday over Triby. Like, even without him getting his advantage of, like, on the summon buffs, it's not even the same thing. Gotcha Smack went free to play on HSR because he got sick of HSR's bullshit. I think I watched his stream for like 20 minutes yesterday. It didn't seem like he was having a good time with the story or even his chat, which is understandable because I'm not gonna lie, I think in gacha games, people have too much tribalism. Like, you cannot criticize a gacha game at all without people saying that, like, you're blindly hating or some shit or you're biased. Like, I can make a video saying Woo is my new favorite gacha game, and people will think I'm doing it to push an agenda because I hate Genshin. Like, it's like, hello? Like, like, hello? Is Remembrance MC in this patch? He is, yes. You can get E6 Remembrance MC in 3.0, which is really nice. You don't have to do any bullshit side quest either. You just gotta do the main quest. It's the exact same for me, Valk. Yeah. That's why I don't want to make any videos comparing gacha games, because, like, it just always just summons the mouth breathers. It's just not a fun time. Like, when I remember making a video, like, back when I first quit ZZZ, like, a few weeks after its launch, I remember getting, like, so much fucking hate because I made a video explaining why I quit, and in that video, I say ZZZ is a good game. It's just not for me. And I still have people just absolutely on my tip. All because I said I quit ZZZ and I gave valid reasons why. The thing is, These games have good story. They just have ass storytelling. That's all it is. The storytelling is absolutely filled with filler dialogue that 90% of the time has nothing to fucking do with anything important. And it's just to, like, raise player retention time. It's all it is. You get more quantity over the bits of quality that are actually sprinkled in there. Like, I'd much rather, like, a 1 or 2 hour, like, genuine, good, fucking top tier experience than I would, like, 10 hours of yap and only an hour of it is actually important and good. Like, for example, I'm not much of a story game guy myself, but the recent God of War games have mostly been completely story. And that was my first time ever genuinely, like, enjoying a story game because it's super fucking high quality. There's no bullshit, there's no filler dialogue. Everything that happens has meaning. God of War doesn't even have that crazy of combat either. It's mainly a story game. I know that this applies to a lot of turn-based games though. Like, a lot of people probably don't know this, but Wizard 101, that game is also turn-based, also has a shit ton of filler dialogue to make worlds feel longer than they actually should be. And that shit takes forever to fucking finish in that game. Like, you have to fight the same mobs and do the same quest like 3 or 4 times over. I honestly think HSR doesn't give a shit about skins. Like, you can tell they don't give a shit by the fact that they just gave us a Preservation March skin. Like, hello? uh... I know people are saying it's free, but I like to put it in a way where imagine someone comes on your birthday, right? It's a gift. And that gift is literally fucking dirt. It's dirt. You never use it. You never touch it. Because let's be honest, you're all rot maxing in your rooms. Like, come on, man. Like, that's not what we want to see. Waffles or pancakes? Waffles. I used to be a pancakes guy when I was a lot younger, but I've been enlightened the older I've gotten. Waffles are just a lot more versatile.
The dice have been cast. Or maybe I'll take it off.
Helpless as a Santa baby. Time to kill! Do you know this big diamond? It's all yours!
What are your thoughts on Fugue going into 3.x? Nothing. I don't really have any thoughts. She makes every single break DPS significantly better, especially if you run those sustainless teams. But if you're asking, like, future proof, like, I mean, eventually break's just gonna fall off. It's not gonna be now, especially since Fugue just released, but I hope they do get more like random support in the future with like a new break DPS or something like that. uh, just pull Firefly E6 dominates. I'm saying, man, just pull E6. Holy fuck. Like, why do you guys even care about meta? Why do you guys ask me about who to pull for when E6 is right there? Keep in mind that Hoyo is an indie company. They're barely scratching by. Dawei only has enough to afford 26 yachts. Come on, man. Fork up some money here. Fork up some money. Got an E6 blade so I can do 200k damage? Hey, that's your own fault. How could you not predict that Blade wouldn't get any HP supports after his release? Hello? Like, are you just... Hello? Should have just predicted the future. I don't know what to say. Bad planning. Just greedy and stupid. Yeah, only 26 yachts. Only 26 yachts. Poor Dawei.
Need something? If not, then I'll be leaving.
Aw. I can't even tell if you're trolling or not, Paul. Super break E6 blade, come on. Lingsha showcase. Lingsha showcase. I'm not. I mean, nah. What Pokey said doesn't apply. Like, the thing is, he's going about proving his point in the wrong way. Because new players have some of the biggest advantages from power creep. Because with all the planets that are in this game now, you can speed run the main quest and get like 300 to 400 pulls in one patch. And you can instantly go for 2 DPS comps. So being a new player as a free-to-play is incredibly fucking easy. The issue is when you're a old player who mainly played in 1.x, you pulled all the 1.x DPSs, you took like a half a year break from the game, you came back, and all of a sudden Acheron and Firefly dropped, and the MOC is double to triple the HP it used to be. And you don't have a Sparkle, you don't have a Robin, because you took a break from the game. That's like the actual issue with it. Like, I took a 6-month break from Wuwa, came back, and my Jinshi is still one-shotting everything. And she's still the strongest DPS in the game. What was his take? So, Mr. Pokey, basically, his take assumes that you played every single day, like, for every patch since the beginning of the game to the end of it. And he counted it up. On average, most people are going to get, like, 12 limiteds in their lifetime from the very beginning of the game to now. If you played literally every single day in every patch without a single break. And his point was that 12 limiteds is enough to clear the end game. But if you spent like 4 or 5 or even 6 of those limiteds in the 1.x patches, not really. Not really. Even Dill, like a lot of people spent for Dill's rerun in 2.0 because of Sparkle, just for Acheron to release in 2.1. Because back then, leaks weren't as big of a thing as it is now. And then if you get Acheron, oh, Acheron's good in the end game right now. You lose the 50-50 on Jiaoqiu. Acheron is not performing well right now without Jiaoqiu. It's like, there are so many things to account for where like people will just straight up get unlucky, or maybe they won't play the game every single day without a break for fucking 2 years in a row. Pauliu, there are people who cannot clear full stars though. Like, that's the issue. Like, I don't know if you saw Mr. Pokey yesterday in his stream. He was using the Herda, right? The newest and most shield DPS currently. The Herda. He was using her on his stream, and he was getting 5 cycles on a free-to-play team with her. This is the newest DPS in a shield endgame for her. And she's also taking 4 to 5 cycles. What do you mean without that level of investment? Have you seen Mr. Pokey's relics? Every single character on his team is like 150, 160 speed. Even his the Herda is like completely max built. And that's the newest DPS. Like the newest, most shield DPS. Yeah, he max refreshes his relic farming since damn near the beginning of the game. What are you saying, Paul? like what are you saying? Like, I don't understand why people just don't look up. Like, it's just so easy, right? It's so easy. You can just go to Pridewin, look at the average damage statistics versus old DPSs to new ones, and then go on HomDGCat and look at the graph for the increased HP inflation in endgame. Like, it just really isn't that hard to grasp. Elites currently in the MOC have more HP than main bosses did around Acheron's patch in the endgame. Elites have 1.2 million. Back then, main bosses had 1.1 million. Nowadays, in 2.1, Acheron was the strongest DPS in the game. Now, with a Lycone and with Jiaoqiu, she still isn't the strongest DPS in the game at the same cost investment. Paul, that's not how it works. What? That's not how it works at all. Herda is performing better than 90% of the DPSs in this game in the endgame. The current endgame is more shield towards break than it is the Herda. The next MOC is going to be more shield towards Herda. Like, that's not at all what that means. A new DPS struggling more in endgame means that old DPSs are going to struggle more in endgame. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden old DPSs are going to perform the same as the new one just because the new one is taking longer. So, like, the power creep is still there nonetheless. It doesn't just disappear. I can 3-cycle Svarog with Acheron E0S0. Yeah, but Svarog is lightning weak and anyone can 3-cycle it with Jiaoqiu. Like, that's what I'm saying. I know Acheron can clear the MOC fine with Jiaoqiu. But I'm comparing an E0 S0 Herda without best in slots. That's like a free to play team I'm comparing. Yeah, it isn't that big of a deal at the end of the day because it's only like 80 jades that you miss out on, but nobody actually gives a shit about the 80 jades. What they care about is actually clearing with like their own skill. If Mr. Pokey with some of the highest tuned like relic investment on every single support possible, like he knows about action value. He's more knowledgeable than 99% of the player base. If he is getting 4 to 5 cycles on a free to play Herda, like the normal casual player base is going to be absolutely fucked. Like he put on E2 Robin and instantly he was able to start getting 0 cycles. That's how much of a difference E2 Robin makes. Yeah. Like I actually want to show you guys something. Give me a second. I have to take this up. I actually want to show you guys something interesting. To show you just how bad it's gotten, right? Like an actual like full thing that you can fully realize. All right, here's Acheron. And then I need Herda. All right. You guys can probably see this, right? So this was made on Acheron's release, I'm pretty sure. So this is on Acheron's release. So Good Night Sleep Well S5 E0 S0. Her E0 damage against one target is 700k. And her E0 damage against 3 targets is 1.1 million. The Herda's single target at E0 is also like decently low, 790k around there. But the 3 target, like, brother, the 3 target is damn near double. It is damn near double of Acheron. With the Battle Pass Lycone, it's like a 60% increase. And then against 5 targets, it only gets worse. Like 5 targets is where she shines the most. 3 targets, she's still like 60 to 70% stronger than an E0 Acheron. The only time they're even slightly similar is 1 target. This is the only time ever. Let's not even go into Eidolons, by the way. The Eidolons, like, Herda completely demolishes Acheron in terms of Eidolon damage. I think, yeah, E2 is 3 million. Her E2 is less than half of that. Like, you just can't see this and be like, oh, power creep isn't like a serious thing at all because you can play the game all day long for 2 years straight and have enough pulls to make another DPS comp. Like, that's not the point. That's just not the point. No, but that's what I'm saying, Irokumata. I'm saying that you cannot predict future best in slot supports for characters, how strong they'll be, or how long your character will actually last you at all, right? Like, for example, Mr. Pokey was saying that people were just greedy and stupid with their pulls in this game, but if you pulled Blade, I bet a lot of people who pulled Blade expected for future HP supports to as well come. right? And there are even videos of Pokey back in Pentagony talking about how he believed in Mono Quantum and Sparkle and how he had confidence that Mono Quantum would become like this new staple meta team, right? Like people talk now in 3.0 when we already know every single banner that came patch after patch and how strong the characters ended up being. But at the time when you actually had to choose and be careful with your pulls, there was zero fucking way to predict any character's value in the future. Like Robin was ass on her release. Okay, not ass, but she was severely undervalued. And literally a few patches later, we go into a completely follow-up comp where you can take full advantage of a Robin, and she's suddenly the number one Harmony in the game. Keep in mind, back then, people were like, oh, if you pulled Sparkle, you don't really need to pull Robin. She's not really all that much better than Sparkle, so you can just feel free to skip her. Look at what fucking happened. You know what I'm saying? No, I know a lot of people skip Jiaoqiu. A lot of people skip Jiaoqiu. Either they lost the 50-50, they didn't want to go for him because of how niche he was, or they thought that he was a lot worse than he really was. And then he ended up being like just the overall best in slot for Acheron. Did I get the 50 Jades earlier from the quest? Oh, nice. Don't worry, the Remembrance Emanator that buffs HP supports will save Blade, Jingliu, and ascend My Day and Casteris to Godhood. I don't even know if they're going to add an HP support at this point. It's really iffy. Like, the fact that there isn't a single leak is a bit weird. What is the damage based on? Is it damage per screenshot? No. An E0S0 Acheron without Jiaoqiu is never hitting 800k. It's not damage per screenshot. I'm pretty sure it's damage per cycle, like on average. So that Acheron, like damage per cycle thing, I'm pretty sure it was back during her patch. And that's without Jiaoqiu. And current Herda doesn't have any single best in slot teammates either. Yet she's twice to like 3 times better than fucking Acheron on release. Are there no 4 stars in Amphorius? According to the leakers, we should be getting a 4-star abundance at some point. That apparently is best in slot with My Day. Like more so than Luocha. Like I think another thing like a lot of people don't keep in mind is that these gacha games are supposed to be casual, right? Like even the end game should be at least semi-casual targeted. So when it gets to the point where you can never take a break from the game because you'll lose out on getting like a new meta support for your new comp to make them more future proof, like that's not good for a casual targeted game at all. Like, it's completely different if it's a competitive game, right? Like, let's say, like, fucking Fortnite, Call of Duty, all those competitive games. It makes sense because you genuinely have to build up the skill to become a pro. But in this game, it's like, completely different, man. I mean, you just can't say that, Paul. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm so sick of this. Okay, this is going to be a hot take, right? So many people in this game, content creators, people who do zero cycles, are completely carried by their relic investment, and that's it. That's it. That's it. You can literally watch someone zero cycle with your exact same team, and if you had the exact same relics as them, you'd be able to instantly copy that zero cycle, even if you had zero clue what you were doing. Like, it doesn't. No. Like, no, the end game shouldn't only be targeted towards people who play the game all day long or drop hundreds of dollars every patch. That is not who the end game should be for. It should be for people who actually have any semblance of skill in this game. Yeah, Paul. That's my point. That's my point. Like you, Acheron, the only reason, like, keep in mind that the current MOC is actually helping Acheron quite a bit because of the Trotter. She's able to actually take advantage of those. Even if it isn't her best in slot, her against Farog is literally like one of the best case scenarios outside of the fact that there isn't multiple mobs. And she is still performing really bad at E0S0. Like, she's barely clearing endgame, even with her most optimal team. Yeah, but Paul, you can't say that. Like, how are you going to call someone a casual when there isn't any difference in skill between a casual and an experienced player? Like, 50% of the time, it's just a difference in relic investment in characters. You give that casual, that so-called casual, the exact same characters and relics, they're going to clear the exact same. At that point, it isn't an endgame. Like, that's not really an endgame. Like, for example, Genshin, I've seen multiple clears of this point at this point of a fucking leeway team. A leeway team with Hu Tao, Zhongli, and that, like, water 4-star support and Bennett. And they clear endgame full stars with Hu Tao almost 4 years later, and they still clear with an entire minute left on the end game because they're good at rotations. Like, that is actually skill. That is skill. What do you mean, don't break Genshin to this? It's the same fucking company. It's the same fucking company. They're both games literally targeted towards the exact same fucking audience. The only difference is one's open world and one's turn-based. Barely, Paul. Fucking barely, bro. There's barely a difference. Similar player base, similar demographic, same company, everything. Do you not see the issue here, Paul, then? Like, do you not realize you're basically admitting to being an elitist and someone who plays all 3 games every single day, all game long? Do you not think that your opinion is just slightly biased because you literally non-stop play these games? Like, 90% of people don't play all 3 Hoyo games at the exact same fucking time and clear all endgame on all 3 of them. Like, keep in mind, I can currently clear endgame completely fine. Low spender, especially after I just got the Hera, all endgame is incredibly fucking easy for me. I can still admit power creep exists and it's an actual problem. Like, I'm not clearing because I'm more skillful than another player. I'm clearing because I got more lucky or I have more characters and I play the game more. Yeah, but this is a casual game, Paul. There is no skill in this game. There's barely any skill. A casual game should have an end game targeted towards casuals. That's how it works. This isn't a competitive game. This isn't Fortnite where you can go pro with your skill by making real money off tournaments. You literally gain nothing. This is a solo. Again, this is not a multiplayer game. This is a solo player game. Casuals should be 100% able to clear solo player games with the fucking, when they get like certain characters and other shit. Like, they shouldn't be hindered by being unlucky on a banner at all. Yeah, you're okay with it, Paul, because you play every day, bro. Like you just admitted literally like a minute ago you play all three games and you play them every day. Like of course you're not gonna have a problem with it. You're not the people actually fucking suffering. That's the difference, man. Yeah. So why are you trying to say like power creep barely fucking matters when you play all three games all day long? Like you're just speaking for yourself at this point. Paul, Paul, can you tell me, Paul, what is an HSR player going to do in this game after they finish a patch's story quest? Can you just tell me? What are they going to do for the next month and a half? What is there to do in this game? Quit the play, quit the game and play real games. Yeah, that too. So here's the issue, Paul, right? There is nothing to do after a main patch's story quest but relics and endgame. Only spending energy to get relics and endgame. That is it. That's all there is to do in this game after you finish like a 6 hour long storyline for a month and a half straight. It's not even like Genshin where you can at least like explore, challenge yourself against bosses, or Wuwa that has holograms. There's literally nothing to do in this game but the endgame. That's why casuals care about clearing endgame. There's nothing else to do at all. Literally, poo. There's you finish a main patch story quest. There's almost no exploration. There's no anything like challenging modes. You just have to spend a month and a half constantly either farming relics or doing endgame. That's the only content this game has outside of like 6 hours of story every month and a half. No, Paul. No. It's not meant for long players. It's meant for people to spend more money on the game. That's the only reason this power creep exists. It's not long term players. It's people who will actually drop money for the newer characters so they can clear the endgame easier. That's why power creep exists in this game. It has nothing to do with long term players having like skill or them wanting to give long term players an advantage. It just makes them more money if they power creep characters more often. That's it. It's just predatory. Like they do not give a shit about long term players. They care about the short term players that'll actually drop the moolah for new characters. That's it. If they cared about long term players, they'd be giving older DPSs buffs to keep up with the current endgame. No, I completely agree, Paul. I completely agree. But I think at the end of the day, an end game for a casual targeted game should be targeted towards casuals and that they can overcome it by like playing smarter or just being better instead of it being because they got unlucky on like a banner pull or something. Or because they don't play every single day and they don't have like 6 months worth of relic investment in their teams. Like even technically like relics are also like slightly predatory because of the fact that they're time gated. People with the money who care enough will just max refresh. Like they'll constantly max refresh and someone who spends money on this game will have double the amount of relics than someone who started the game without max refresh. No, I agree, Paul. I don't think they're going to change anything. Like, I'm not stupid enough to think that me complaining about it is going to change anything. I'm just saying what should be done and how stupid it is. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm fully aware. I'm not stupid enough to think that, like, oh, Dawei's going to see my video and he's going to sacrifice one of his yachts so he can actually make a big game change for us. Like, I know that's not going to fucking happen. It's just that there's an objective truth that the end game in all of these gacha games that Hoyo makes are mostly just money. You resolve your problems. They literally create a problem for you and kind of like whisper in your ear to spend money to constantly keep up without like brainlessly playing this game every single day for years on end. That's what gachas do, but there are some gachas that do it better though. Like in HSR specifically, it is like one of the worst, right? Like once again, I mentioned this. I took a 6-month break from Wuwa, came back. Jinshi clears all the endgame, still the strongest DPS in the game. You can solo clear like holograms with Don Jin, a 4-star, level 100 holograms you can solo clear if you have enough skill. Like an end game should be more targeted towards skill than something like that. Yeah, but Paul, there's so much more to do in Wuwa outside of the end game. Like this is different. HSR is different. There's nothing to do when you finish a patch's quest but do daily relics and the end game. That's it. Like Wuwa has beautiful graphics, a shit ton of side quests, a shit ton of regions that you can explore and farm chests in. You can farm echoes nearly all day long in Wuwa and genuinely be making a difference for your account. You can't do that in this game. Everything in this game is completely time gated. I mean, Draco, even by 1.5, HSR had significantly more power creep. Like, Jing Liu and Dill were significantly stronger than fucking Blade and Jing Yuan. Like, it's not even comparable. Like, the actual comparison would be like Jing Yuan coming out as the strongest DPS and still being the strongest DPS in like 1.5. Like, that's the actual apples to apples comparison. Not to mention, Wuwa has a guaranteed weapon banner. Like, once again, Wuwa has a lower soft pity. They give you more pulls for patch. They have a guaranteed weapon banner. It is significantly easier to keep up with Wuwa than it ever has been for HSR. We just got a new plan in HSR in 3.0, 110 pulls for free-to-plays. In Wuwa, it's damn near 200. It isn't even an anniversary, and it's 200 pulls, around there. Yeah, but Paul, HSR should be skill based. That's the thing I'm saying. Someone who is complete shit at Wuwa with a lot of the newer characters, if they completely suck at rotations, they'll actually struggle in the end game. A player who took like a half-year break, came back with their Jinshi, and relearned like the mechanical skill and rotations would be able to clear better than someone else, even if they had better characters and Lycones. You can't really do that in this game. You can maybe get like one cycle faster usually if the person is like really stupid, but that's usually it. That's all you can do with your skill in this game, really. It's not really skill based at all. It's more luck based for free to plays. Good luck, sir. I just think you don't care, Paul. I just think you don't care. Like it just is what it is. There's no point in talking about it. You just don't care. Like I think it's a really bad mindset to have to think that this game is like a competitive game where you have to constantly like hone your skills every single day. And if you ever take a break, like you come back, you're just complete shit. Like no. Like these gotcha games should never be that targeted towards like a small percentage of the audience. The thing is, calling people hardcore in these games is just so stupid, bro. Like I can't take it seriously. I've only played competitive shooters since I was a kid, so I know like what actual skill looks like in a video game. The difference between a hardcore and casual is literally fucking nothing in terms of brains. That that's kind of the argument I'm making here. Like you should be able to overcome challenges with your skill and not need to rely on pulling characters or playing the game every day for relics. But yeah, it's all good, Paul. Like I on Fortnite right now, I could take like a 1 year break from Fortnite, come back and get the highest rank within a few days because I'm just that fucking good at the game and I invested that much time in it. Like that's actual skill. It doesn't matter what broken ass gun they add to the game, I'll always be better than other people. Yeah, I know, Paul, but a game should never be made around like that, though. That's what I'm saying. The thing is, Paul, what I don't understand with your argument, right, is that the beginning, like 1.x of HSR was completely fine. Like, I am talking about the current power creep of HSR. 1.x HSR, the power creep in the endgame modes was actually like completely fine. Like that was genuinely understandable. But I'm talking about current power creep in HSR, where the MOC HP inflation is making enemies gain over 100% HP within like 4 MOCs. While in the beginning of the game, there was only like a 20 to 30% HP increase between like 4 different MOCs. It was SK in my opinion. Yeah. Lingsha's a really, really good sustain. I mean, Paul, have you seen Genshin? Like this is why I used Genshin as this is why I compared it to Genshin. 1.x HSR was very similar to Genshin's HP inflation. Like they were almost matching. And then out of nowhere when Acheron dropped, the HP inflation increased dramatically. Nice, Bob. Hope you enjoy her. You know what? Okay, Paul. Paul, can we agree on something here? I think if they just added more 4 stars, this would be a significantly less of an issue. Like if they added more Gallaghers and more Moses and more March 7s, it would be significantly like fucking better overall. I think like one of the bigger issues is that you constantly have to go with a limited or nothing mindset, and they never make new fucking 4 stars. Like I genuinely think if they consistently made like 1 4-star each patch alongside the 2 limiteds, like it wouldn't be anywhere near as bad of an issue. Yeah, we can agree on that at least. Like Gallagher helps so many people with the break team. Like something similar to that would 100% happen. Or 100% help. Yeah, like there are not really like that many alternatives in this game for the like a lot of the 4 stars are like too old at this point. How many 4 stars are actually still like meta? I'm not gonna include some stuff. Serval's only meta because of a Herda battery. Uh, I think some people use Wei Yi and Break. Mo's and March 7th are the most obvious ones. Pela and Gallagher. So less than half of the 4-star cast is like genuinely still used consistently. Yeah, Paul. Like Bennett is still holding up to this day. Like all we need is some more 4 stars. No, Hang. I think 4 stars 100% help. For example, when it was like Moe's and March's release, if you didn't have Fei Xiao, you could run a Moe's and March combo with like Robin and you could clear Endgame just fine. Like you could 100% do that. And that's like significantly less costly for like most people who don't play the game as much because they usually put 4 stars on events and they're just a lot easier to get than like a full limited. Even Ting Yun is still used to this day. Like there's a lot of good options. It's just that they don't make enough 4 stars anymore. Like you rarely ever see them. I wouldn't count the MC as a 4 star. He's technically just like a main like story thing. Like he's in his own category. I agree, Matt. I think 4 star DPSs are. I mean, they could make a new one and change my mind, right? But all the current 4 star DPSs we have are just absolutely like. It's not even fucking close. They just aren't good enough. Like March and Moe's are mostly sub DPSs. They aren't even main ones. How's the 3.1 MLC rotation? I think it's nearly the same HP as the 3.01, but with less buffs favoring the Herda. I actually said this before, and I'm pretty sure this is a sign that I'm right. They didn't change the HP much from 3.0, and even though it's still like the buff makes it easier, they're slowly nerfing the buff while keeping the exact same HP. So like I had a guess like a patch ago. I made a video saying that I think the Legion boss like cumulative HP in that MOC will stay. However, over time that'll become like a normal HP number, not including buffs. And it's looking like that's exactly what they're planning. No, I know it's down, Draco, but the buff is worse. Like, it's harder to clear that MOC compared to the previous one. Because the Legion boss in 3.0 MOC takes a shit ton of damage. Like, it's basically the equivalent of Herda and APOC. Like, you do like 3 or 4 million on an enhanced skill on that guy. Yeah, Paul, it's really annoying. I really wish they just. It is what it is at the end of the day, right? There's no point on wishing what could have been, but they're really stingy in this game. Yeah, that's another thing, Paul. Like, this game releases 2 limiteds every patch, while in Genshin it's usually one. I'm pretty sure it's usually one in Genshin, and sometimes they don't even do a limited. Like, I'd low key, I feel like I'd low key prefer that. I don't know how many people agree with me. I know a lot of people would disagree. I'd prefer one limited per patch. What do you think the next reruns will be? Um, I actually don't know. I'm confident in Sunday for 3.2, but that's literally it. I don't know who else will get reran. Maybe Yunli and Jiaoqiu are due for reruns at this point. I think they might just throw Yunli and Jiaoqiu in there possibly, since I think Triby could benefit Yunli. Kinda. Wait, no, she doesn't have action advance. Not really. I don't know. Yeah, Paul. I much prefer one limited per patch. No, I don't think I'll pull for the fake collab. To be honest, the only fake character I was 100% sure I'd pull on if they came out was Gilgamesh. And after My Day, I'm pretty confident that My Day was made similar to Gilgamesh because he's not going to come out in the fake collab. Yeah, Ruan May is also due for a rerun. That's true. Yeah. Ruan May is also due for a rerun, and since we just got Fugue in like the break teams, it wouldn't be surprising if they rerun Ruan May soon. I'm gonna be completely honest, K70. After using the Herda a lot, I prefer the light cone. The E1 is like a 20 or 25% damage buff, and it adds a lot of comfortability. Like, if you get this E1, you don't really have to pull for Triby anymore. But the light cone skill point is so, so good. Like, skill points is the number one problem with this woman. No, Elevate Fitness, I am in your exact situation. I used to, when I was first doing content on YouTube, I was trying to do ZZZ, Wuwa, and HSR all at the same time, and my brain felt like it was fried. Like, I much prefer just only focusing on one gotcha game at a time. Like, even if they are technically like easy and quick to do, it's so, so much better for me to only focus on one gotcha. I mean, technically, many, yes. I do agree with you. It's just that the skill point issues with the Herda are really fucking annoying. But yes, the E1 does get even more extra value because it puts you one step closer to the E2, which is what makes her the most broken. However, one thing you have to realize is you're going to be running into a lot of skill point issues with this E2 because after she uses her ult, it'll advance her by 35%. So she'll be taking turns more often, meaning she uses her enhanced skill more often. So if you're already running into skill point issues even without the E2, pro, be fucking ready for that E2, man. Yeah, like, I think you'd probably run Aventurine and like Remembrance Trailblazer are currently like the best for the Herda in terms of skill points. Yeah, Buffalo. That's a big reason why I quit Woowa was because Woowa was like it's not bad. Like in my opinion, WoW is a straight up better gacha game objectively than HSR, but HSR is so much more convenient for me that I actually prefer it more. And to be honest, I do like Hoyo's character designs, or at least Honkai Star Rail's in specific, over a lot of the WoW characters. No, I quit WoW a while ago, Kurosho. Currently, I'm still playing it, like from coming back. I'm talking about back then. But even now, like there are some days where I'll make a video or I'll do a live stream on HSR, and I'll genuinely be like so burnt out that I don't even feel like logging on. But I force myself to so I can at least do dailies. Yeah, that's understandable, K70. Yeah, Buffalo, it can be overwhelming. Even with infinite free time, I still wouldn't play WoW. I don't know. There's just like this is more of a personal thing. I just like taking more time for myself. I'm not as much of a gamer as I used to be when I was smaller. Like playing games, although I enjoy it, I don't like going too hardcore in it anymore. Like the only reason I'm a bit hardcore in Fortnite is because I played that game like that was the first game I ever played when I first got my console. So, yeah. That's the only reason I'm sweaty in Fortnite. Yeah, Paul. Oh my god, I forgot about that. I forgot they added that. Like it's just so nice. It's so fucking nice. You can literally do like you can finish all your energy in like 2 minutes because of it. It's so nice. Yeah. Another thing I will say is I've mentioned this before, but something I actually like about HSR is the hype, right? I think this is something a lot of people don't consider either because they don't follow leaks or because they're not really on social media. But like the hype for new characters and how strong they might be, and like, oh, Casteris leaks, My Day leaks, HP scalers, this is the new meta. Like that genuinely is like interesting to me. Woowa leaks take so much fucking longer than HSR leaks. It's insane. Yeah, like I actually really like the hype behind games and like characters and all that stuff as well. Yeah, Paul. Woowa leaks are usually like I don't know what's going on. Maybe Kuro just like cracks down on leaks more seriously, but Woowa's like leakers aren't exactly the best. The duality of power creep. Yeah. I mean, that's why power creep is so effective. Like, it gets people like, oh, I have to get on the game now. I have to get the newest and strongest DPS so I can fully clear the end game with ease. And it's like an endlessly repeating cycle that you never actually become conscious of until later on. But I will say that the leakers in HR and HSR are a bit of piece of shits. Like, they pretend to not have shit, and then the second Casteris got her teaser for like her actual in-game animation, they tell us later, oh, by the way, we were fully aware of this animation and there's actually more to it, but we're not gonna fucking tell you about it because we're leakers. Like, are you serious, man? Like, they just gatekeep leaks because they feel like it. Bro, they have to be, Paul. They have to be. Like, they're such trolls. I don't get it. They're such fucking trolls every time. It's like, oh, by the way, we already knew about this, but we were gonna gatekeep it. Yeah. Low key. Mm. I'm really thinking about. I hope it doesn't take too long for Herda to rerun. If Herda takes another 5 patches to rerun like Acheron did, that would be a bit annoying. Because there's actually a good chance I'm not able to get her E2 before the banner goes. However, this is technically a better thing for me overall. Because it means I then have like. I'll have like 60 or 70 character pity for Sunday. And I'll have like 9 pity on the Lycombe banner for Sunday as well. So if I don't get the E2, my Sunday and Casteris comp wins. If I get the E2, my Herda comp wins. Herda is Sigma. You gave up on my day? Bro, I gave up on my day even before the leaks dropped. Because I took more than 2 seconds to think about it. And I was like, wait. Doesn't Casteris use the exact same fucking best in slot supports as my day? And that's when I realized that I had to choose between one or the other. Because I didn't want to run an unoptimal my day or Casteris team. And I decided that I'd go for Casteris instead. If my day didn't have the exact same best in slot supports, I would have pulled for him, but everybody just wants RMC and Sunday. There's nothing you can do about it. Boot Hill situation. It actually is. It genuinely is. It's Boot Hill and then Firefly, but instead it's fucking my day and then Casteris. If anything, this is like probably worse. Since Casteris is the anniversary drop. Dot leaks? Like right now? Or are we talking about the old ones? I don't see anything new here. It's just the same old stuff. Was yesterday? Oh yeah, I already talked about it on stream earlier. I mean, I'm sure my day will get a slight buff. I think he will, 100%. To be at least like the Herda level. Because let's all be honest. If he's not even the Herda level. And he's not going to get best in slot teammates like the Herda is. Hello? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hello? Like these Emanators always get best in slot teammates to make them even stronger. So he should be at least stronger than current Herda. Yeah, I already saw it, Bob. Talked about it earlier. It's the reason it's interesting is because it talks about physical dot. So I think that implies that the next dot DPS we get will probably be a physical character. I agree, Paul. I agree. That's why I mentioned earlier in my stream, like an E0 S1 Acheron with Zhao Q, in my opinion, is going to perform better most of the time than like an E2 S1 Acheron without him. Like Zhao Q basically adds so much vulnerability to the point of it's like a damage bonus comparable to Harmonies. And then there's also the stack generation. Like it's so fucking stupid. You could say the same for like Robin Fei Xiao too. Like Robin completely skyrockets the Fua comp. The problem is, Irokumata, that this is something I realized after watching so many My Day gameplays. The E1 barely fucking helps. Like, for example, when an enemy hits him, he gets like 20 to 30% blood accumulation, right? But when he heals, like I watched a Huohuo heal him, the blood accumulation at E1 only made him go up like 4%. Like, Huohuo would have to do 5 heals to keep up with one enemy's attack. It's just like not good. I think that was with the S1 as well. Yeah, that's a good team, K70. That's a really good team. Yeah, that's good. I'm in a bit of a tough spot with Herda though, because she's getting two best in slots in a row, but I'm skipping both of them to get a Casteris team instead. So my Herda team, even with the E1S1, is probably gonna be scuffed for a little bit until she gets a rerun and I get the E2, and I'm also able to get the teammates. So my E1S1 is only gonna be an advantage for this one patch. Should E2 Herda be on speed or attack boots? I think attack might be better. I could be wrong, but I think attack is better because of the action advance. Don't hold me to that though. I'm just assuming. From when I first saw this, I just assumed it. That maybe a running attack is better. Anoxa path change still kills me? Bro, it's so fucking funny. The original, like, so-called kit leak for Screwlum was that he was going to be imaginary erudition at some point. And then it just got put to Anoxa instead. Oh my goodness. Good night, Irokumana. Thanks for stopping by. My Day Remembrance MC Sunday Whoa Whoa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his best in slot team. Yeah. Because, like, My Day doesn't consume skill points. So it's not as big of an issue as it is with Herda. So you can run Whoa Whoa. Goat Whoa? Axe is just lurking, waiting for Whoa Whoa to be mentioned. She's going to go in T0, Axe. You're going to get what you wanted. Let's all be honest, like at least like 3.1 or 3.2, she's probably going to hit T0. What's the best team for Casteris? According to the leakers, Remembrance MC and Sunday. But I don't think we're close enough. I think it's better to just wait near the end of 3.0, and that's when we'll start getting more accurate leaks for Casteris and Anoxa. Bro, Axe, I want to use my Ho-Ho, man. Like, my Ho-Ho is unused, rusty, only ever used in the Doc Premium team. Like, oh my goodness, get her out of here. I have E2 Acheron and E1 Black Swan. Eyes of Prey. Is it worth getting Kafka Lycone for E1 Black Swan or get Zhao Q? Kafka Lycone for your Black Swan? If I remember correctly, isn't Zhao Q's Lycone better for Black Swan than her own signature? Or am I misremembering? I remember there being a bunch of drama about that, where people were like, oh my god, look at this Lycone power creep. Or am I wrong? It would probably be much better to wait for Zhao Q's Lycone. There we go. A 4-star healer for HP skillers would be nice. I mean, that's what I'm assuming the upcoming Abundance 4-star will probably be for. Yeah, then Jiaoqiu's light cone would probably be better though, right? Like Black Swan, I'm gonna be honest, just doesn't do enough damage. It'd probably be better to get a light cone that increases team damage. She's more of like a sub DPS in the dot team. Um, maybe, maybe Sanji. I don't know. Kafka is just so ass at this point. Like, oh my god. I know some people would obviously pull for them just because they enjoy the character, but it could be like another ratio situation or seal situation where it's like the character's just so out of meta that they refuse to rerun them. It is possible that they rerun soon, but the only time I see them rerunning is 3.2. Because that's right before, I think Cypher, Cyrene, whoever the fuck of the two ends up being a dot character. Like, whenever we get those new dot DPSs, like, they're not going to make any money off of Kafka, I'm sorry. Like, Dawei will only be able to afford, like, a quarter of a yacht with Kafka's banner sales. It's not enough for him. What's better, one or two yachts whenever you release a new character, or a quarter of a yacht releasing an older one? You know what I'm saying? No, I would be so down. I would be so down for a welt, like a new welt. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot to mention it earlier when I was talking about Anaxa. Another part of his leaked kit was that his ult, I think, gave action delay on enemies. I remember that part too. So he probably wouldn't be good with my day. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen at this point, sir. With the recent dot leaks of there being another new character that's sounding to be like some type of support for dot and increasing dot damage, I think there's actually a good chance that there's one dot DPS and one dot sub DPS slash support. Kafka power creep before his skin is crazy work. It just is what it is, bro. It is what it is. HSR doesn't really seem to give a shit about skins all that much, I'm not gonna lie. They just keep teasing it at this point. Can't wait for people's Kafkas to hit 3 bajillion. 3 bajillion with the new skin on. Boom. E2 Herda. I'm never getting that lucky again. Give a free skin, but it's for a useless preservation march. I'm not gonna lie. I think an Aventurine skin would low key go hard. Like, I think skins for specifically like sustains or harmonies would go like really hard. I think Aventurine could really, like he could take advantage of one the most. I skipped the entire story, Bob. Stop pulling? Why? If I get Herda, I just get E2. If I lose the 50-50, I have a guarantee for Sunday. I don't lose anything because I'm skipping 3.1. is Sigma. I just... the issue is I was like so confident on my day, but I do just like Casteris more than I do my day. Like that's really all it comes down to. I like one character more, and so if I were to pull my day, I would not be able to afford Casteris. If you haven't done the entirety of the main quest, I think so. Soda Machine King, yeah. Because I think it's a rumored 110 pulls for 3.0. I think, like, given all the free pulls here, is around 27. So you remove 27 from, like, the very beginning. Yeah, you could probably get 60 pulls. You just have to farm all the chests, do all the side quests. You know, I myself, I still don't have a lot of chests, like, here. Like, look at this. I only have half in every single one. And even in, like, the older ones, like Patagonia, I don't have max chests on a lot of these spots. No, it is crazy, Axe. Like, it's crazier, too, because we're getting significantly more pulls this patch than we usually do. We're getting 110 for an entirely new planet. And it still isn't enough to guarantee a 5-star with 8 banners running. You would have to get pretty unlucky, but it still doesn't change that fact. I've been there. I've been the unlucky guy. I've lost 8 50-50s in a row before. I know how it feels. The quest is... Yeah, I'm going to say, even though the puzzles are still a bit brainless, I much appreciated the puzzles here than, like, any of the puzzles in the other planets. I'll give them props for the puzzles. Just pull better and get hurt a little, bro. Just drop $1 bajillion for Dawei. And you can have your own E6S5 Herda. And your E6S5 Lingsha, E6S5 Jade, and E6S5 Bubbin. Yes, Valk. Yeah, the Casteris will probably be the first side of 3.2 right after My Day's banner. Matt, it's mostly because of the filler. Like, I've said this before, but I don't even think Amphorius' story is necessarily bad. It's just that the good is only sprinkled in, and then it's overshadowed by the massive amounts of fucking filler dialogue to stretch it out as much as possible. Not to mention that, I'm going to be completely honest, the transitions and animations for a lot of the, like, not the cutscenes, right? Like, the animated cutscenes are actually banger. But the non-animated stuff, I know I shouldn't be making comparisons, but when I was doing Renacida and Wuwa, the transitions and, like, the explaining of the story and how the dialogue followed was a million times more forward and better. Like, even that one thing in Renacida where you're dancing with Carlotta, Like that is genuine like in-game animation and it looks incredibly fucking clean. But in this game, like not only the graphics, but like even characters and like other things in general look significantly more stiff compared to the cutscenes. Yeah, exactly, Matt. It's just the presentation that's bad, but like the inner workings of the storytelling is what's really special. It's just that it's too overshadowed. Do you guys think there's a leprechaun at the end of the rainbow? Maybe I'll have enough gold to E6 S5 my Herda. The cutscenes were fucking sick though. Every time there was a cutscene, it was so fucking cool. Like it was genuinely like really really well done. Are you fucking kidding me? I thought I was gonna be able to ride the dinosaur, and instead, I'm watching a kid play the bard, and I can't fucking look at the dinosaur at all or ride him. What a scam. What a scam. Oh my god. That's just disgusting. It's crazy that E0 S0 Herda can hit 1 mil. Granted, I use Sunday Remembrance MC, serve all battery. Yeah, Sunday and Remembrance MC combo goes crazy, man. Go to the blue tent. Where's the blue tent? Ring a bell to call the dino to ride. Are you talking about where I was earlier? Oh, my left. Are you talking about the purple dinosaur over here? Right. Opposite way. Ah, this. Is it not this one? Or is there more? You passed it? Alright.
Take a look. This is your genius in action.
Oh. Is it this?
You want this?
How do you ride a Dromas? I can't complete the event? I don't even know. The other chest? Alright, give me a sec. Are you talking about this one? I I see. Oh my goodness. Yes! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Peak. Peak Furious. My glorious King Dawe. Oh my goodness. This is peak. I wish you could control him, but I understand why you can't do that. Let's go, man. This is so fucking sick. Amp Glorious. I'm saying Axe. HSR saved. It has been saved. Who gives a shit about the power creep when you can just ride a dinosaur like this? Fit for a king. Fit for royalty. Fit for Dawe. Alright, let me escape now. What a good dino. What a good one. He even got me 20 jades. Devs, listen. Devs, listen. Could you believe it? Devs, listen. 300 Trailblaze power instead of 240. Devs, listen. I don't think so, about. When are the events dropping? What events? I don't know what events you're talking about. Does anyone know if that, like, 500k Stellar Jades gambling thing is ever going to come out? Or was that, like, a facade? Like, was it just imaginary? Like all the men in this game. He low-key does look like Barney a bit. If Barney was way better, bigger, stronger, and cooler. It's on the 27th. Alright. So here's what's going to happen, guys. After I win the 500k Jades, because we all know I will refrain from pulling any E6s. I am a very careful man, right? I like to, I'm a bit stingy here and there. So when I win the 500k Jades, I'll only be pulling E2 S1s. Technically, that doesn't make me a whale because I never spent money, right? So anyone who calls me a whale, fuck you. I'm going to run E2 S1 on every single character that drops. There's nothing you can do about it. Nah, that's my 500k. Hey, there's 20 winners, man. There's 20 winners. A lot of us can win to a 500k hero, right? There's no need to fight over it. Yep. I might go for E6 here and there, something light. E6 Robin, E6 Sunday, maybe the supports, but not the rest, not the rest. You know what I'm saying? Tawway is gonna tax you on the 500k Jades, so you'll be left with 20k. Oh my goodness. Hey, Sugar, that's a loser's mindset. That's a loser's mindset. Winners win. 99% of gamblers quit before they hit big. Remember that statistic. It's a real statistic. If you get unlucky, who cares, right? You'll win next time. That's all that matters. The game is due. After you lose a few times, you're due for a win. That's how gambling works. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Probably like half of the winners are probably going to be botted accounts. Like, I'm not going to lie. That's probably the case. Someone's probably going to put it up and sell it for like thousands of dollars. How much is 500k Jades anyways? So 16K. So it is around 3,100 polls. It's actually a little more than that, but it's around 3,100 polls. $8,300 worth of jades. Yeah, it's a lot. I'm surprised they made 20 winners. I thought it'd be like one. They're usually pretty stingy with that shit. But I guess they won't exactly lose all that much unless it's a whale. I will not be pulling for Triby. Understandable. I'm in the exact same boat, Celestial. The original plan was to just go for Phanon and Casteris. Then I wanted my day in the drip market. Then I realized that he has the exact same supports as Casteris, so I went back to Casteris. And now I got Herda's light cone in 110 pull, so I ended up pulling the Herda. So I'll probably skip Phanon, invest hard in Herda since I have her E1S1, and then Casteris will be my second team. I mean, Eden, have you seen CSGO? Like, I think CSGO is one of the best examples of that. Like, in CSGO, there are genuinely, like, in-game cosmetics, like knives and shit, that are worth, like, hundreds of thousands, and some are even in the millions. Because there's only, like, one of them in existence. No, Celestial. Triby is looking a lot more like a better Ruan Mei, basically. Like, she's just a better Ruan Mei with some side damage as well. And the thing is that even though Ruan Mei is like the most versatile Harmony in the game, she isn't used in most people's teams because she's not a best in slot compared to Robin and Sunday. So it's kind of like the exact same thing here. But the thing is, it's only V1. So, like, you really can't take it all that serious because it's only V1. Characters always get, like, decent changes after V1, so keep that in mind. She could become way stronger. But yeah, right now, like, if we're talking current V1, unless you pull the light cone and maybe her E1, like, at E0S0 specifically, not really all that much worth it. If she gets AA again, she 100, like, instantly. I'm not even trolling. Instantly goes all the way back up. That's her number one flaw right now. Is a lot of the current DPSs want some type of action advance, and she gives zero. Like, if they just give her even a drop of action advance, it would be so much fucking better. Or, right? Because they're doing this DDD rerun on the second side, they could just make her ult cost less energy, so it's easier for her to spam her ult, and then you can just use DDD. That would also be like another good thing to use. Like, basically Harmony, MC, and break teams, basically. Yeah. Us S5 DDD havers. I'm going to be honest, if you don't have an S5 DDD, what are you doing? Like, honestly, what are you doing if you do not have an S5 DDD? Like, you're telling me you weren't able to get an S5 DDD 1 year ago on Dill's rerun? Really? Are you that much of a plebeian? A noob? My goodness, absolutely disgusting. I could never imagine it. It's all good, Celestial. I understand. It's completely understandable. It's actually crazy that S5 DDD has like significantly more value than a lot of signature Lycons in this game. Like if you really think about it, that's fucking insane. DDD, like S5, has so much more value than a lot of signature Lycons. I wish there was trading in this game. I would in a heartbeat trade people DDDs for like pulls or some shit. Oh my god. Take the DDDs, man. Got one DDD, guess my account is breaked. Gotta get it as 5, man. Yeah, 10 start. Like, her buffs are fine. Her vulnerability field on ult is fine. Her damage is fine. The actual issue is that, especially Mydane specific, because we're not completely sure if Casteris will also want, like, action advance as much as possible, but it is very likely. But for what, if we just only use current knowledge, Mydane wants action advance as much as possible. Like, that's what he wants. It's so hard keeping up with this game while trying to prioritize what you want, especially after Mr. Pokey's stupid tweet. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I think it's hard for someone who like religiously plays these games like consistently to ever understand like the perspective of someone who doesn't always like constantly play. It's like a completely I know this because when I was like a kid, I was pretty spoiled as a kid. I used to play video games all day long, and I'd never understand how when I was like 11 or 12 years old, I was better than like 18 and 20-year olds in video games, even though they've played the game like 3 or 4 times as long as me. And then at some point, you just like get older and you actually realize like, oh, it's because they didn't give a shit. Like they were more busy with other shit in life and didn't care. Got 3 DDDs in a row on the standard banner. That's insane fucking luck. I actually think I have another DDD aside from this one. I don't know where it is. Yeah, I have an S2 one as well. And like, I don't know how many Landau's choices this is. I have so many just random 4-star Lycones. Yeah, Matt. I understand it a lot more now that I'm older. Like, why did they... Why is this a break effect Lycone? Yup. Gets harder and harder to get DDD. I only have one trend. I have S7 DDD. But I only have one trend. Like, really, man? For Boot Hill? I have a good amount of signature Lycons. What is that, like 4? Never mind, it's 5. I really wish this game would add more 4 stars. Like, that's really all this game needs. Like, one of the easiest way to fix the power creep issues and the HP inflation is to just make more characters that are more easily accessible than limiteds. I really hope that at some point they just pick up the pace on 4 stars. Yeah, Erudition has also been out of meta for like a long ass time, so they didn't get much support. And now Remembrance is a new path, and Remembrance has like barely any fucking light cones at all. So we're just like making do with what we have. I can't even like I don't even know what I'm gonna use the battle pass like light cone thingy on. Because the Remembrance light cone in here, I'm pretty sure is like straight up shit for Casteris. Where is it? So Casteris at base, if you use a Sunday with her, will have like 62% crit rate if I remember correctly. And this also gives crit rate. It's like, how much crit rate am I going to give this woman? So I don't even know if I like go for this. Like, I probably will still get this just so I can have one copy of it. But how much fucking crit rate am I going to be putting on my Casteris? Like, this makes it, what, 74% crit rate? Not including any substats? Like, brother, that's insane. That's 140 crit value. Full crit damage and HP relics? Yeah, probably. But the thing is, like, even though double crit stats are harder to get, when you do get them, having like a 2 and 4 chance to get the like stats you want versus a 1 and 4 is a lot more annoying. You're not getting Casteris' signature? I don't think I'll even be able to, is the issue. So I think I can get 60 more pulls milked out of this current patch, like 60 or 70. And maybe 80 actually, maybe 80. So 80 pulls this patch plus like probably 90 in the next one because that's the average. I'd say 95, right? Let's say 95. So like 80 or 90 plus 95, like 180 around there. And then because it's anniversary on Casteris' banner, we should get a lot more pulls on the first phase, probably like 70. So that puts me at 250 pulls with no guarantees on both banners. And I want Sunday's Lycone over Casteris' Lycone. I mean, the thing is, Draco, Herda's E2 is by far, like, gonna be more important than Casteris' Lycone in the first place. Like, that's why I don't have an issue with pulling for the Herda currently. Like, the Herda literally becomes twice as strong with her E2. Like, it's not going to be the same for Casteris. I sincerely doubt it. And if I don't get the E2 right now, I'm then going to have to wait like 6 months or 7.5 months for her rerun. No, Draco, but like, the thing I'm saying is, if I were to spend my pulls on the Herda and I actually do get the E2, right? Like, let's say I get the E2. It goes from 250 pulls to 180 pulls, basically. No, I know. That's what I want, Draco. Like, that's what I want. I don't want to purposely not get E2 on purpose and then regret not getting it later on when the power creep starts to hit and she hasn't had a rerun yet. Because keep in mind, even if E2 is broken, I am skipping her best in slot teammates, right? So getting her best in slot teammates like Triby and Anoxa could end up making a bigger difference than her E2. I'm skipping both of them. So getting her E2 will like at least future proof her for me for like quite a while until I can actually afford her best in slot teammates on their reruns. Like, just once again, look at Acheron. Acheron with a Zhao Q at E0S1 is, in my opinion, better than an E2S1 Acheron without a Zhao Q. And I'm 100% skipping Anoxa because I want Casteris. Like, there's no way I'd be able to afford Sunday and his Lycone and Casteris and Anoxa. It's just impossible. No, yeah, Draco, I know. Like, I've already planned to not be able to get her Lycone because I'd rather Sundays. I've already planned for that, basically. In the first place, I probably won't even be able to get Sunday's Lycone. If I lose 150-50, I'll only be able to get Sunday and Casteris, and that's it. I wouldn't have done this for anyone else, but there isn't a more universal DPS in this game than the Herda. So, like, the more I make her strong, the more future-proof my account becomes. Because she's literally like T0 in every endgame mode. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for me. Like, it's not like I'm like going for E2 Fei Xiao, where Fei Xiao like dramatically falls off in pure fiction without like an E1 Jade or something like that. No, I agree, Celestial. Yeah, they are not giving enough pulls. I think Anniversary will probably be like 120, and 3.0 was like 110 for free to plays. I think Anniversary will be 120. I'm pretty sure last Anniversary we got 30 free limited pulls. It'll probably be the exact same here. Good luck, Sugar. I wish you luck on that. I think, if anything, even if I can't get like Casteris' Lycone or Enolon's right now, so long as I'm able to secure Sunday and her, I'll end up getting her Enolon's and Lycone on a rerun if I like her enough. Like, I don't mind skipping a patch or two if it means I can make Casteris more future-proof on her rerun. Alright, guys. I'm tired and hungry. I'm gonna dip now. I'm also like sleepy because I got like 3 hours of sleep or something like that. I appreciate you all stopping by. It was nice having talks with you guys here. Yeah, I'm gonna go do my thing. Hope all of you have a good day. Hope you have a good night. I wish you luck on your pulls for the Herda. Any of that stuff. Remember, pay attention to leaks. Don't instantly think Triby is going to be complete dog shit just because she's not the greatest in her V1 right now. Very likely to get buffs. Same with my day. So yeah, peace.